Hi, my name is Randy Labaza. Let's walk through creating a complete columnar cipher. A good quote length for complete columnar is about 50 characters, give or take. If the quote is too long, the number of rows gets a bit unwieldy. The length of the quote is fit into the number of columns that you define in the problem. In this case, it's 8. If needed, a minimum number of pad characters, which is the letter X, are used to make the quote fit exactly into the grid for that number of columns. The ciphertext includes the padding characters, and the factors of the length of this padded string determine the possible number of columns for the solution. So there is some basic math involved here. Determining the number of columns is the first step towards solving this cipher. In this example, with 8 columns, the padded length is 48, which we see here. This factors into 4, 6, and 8. So there are 3 possibilities in this case. For the number of columns in the solution. 1 of 4 columns, 1 of 6 columns, and finally 1 of 8 columns. Column ordering does not really matter too much. You can type nearly any character from your keyboard in the coloring order field, and the sorted ASCII values of those characters are used to determine the column order. I would not recommend using any of your passwords in the column order field, although that should work. You can click on the randomize column button in order to arrange the columns via a string of digits. Once your column order is set, as with all ciphers, you should take a quick check through the ciphertext to make sure there are not any inadvertently inappropriate words in there. Next, we'll fill in the crib. Choosing the crib can affect the difficulty. If the crib is split between 2 rows, then the letters need to be kept track of more carefully. And although it does narrow down the first and last columns considerably based on where the split occurs. Additionally, if there are duplicate letters in the crib, such as in this case, duplicate E's, solving it requires a bit more work because the number of possible column orderings that will make sense increases. I suppose having the letter X in the plain text could cause some trouble for solvers because X's in the bottom row can be keyed on to determine which columns are at the end of the grid. Lastly, we'll finish off the question text, which will include the crib using the suggest question button. That looks good. We'll replace it. And we'll set the point value using the suggested points button, 275. That looks good. Save it and go on to the next problem. And that's how you create a complete columnar problem. Happy code bustering.